was more common from like a black media. I was a Chief Justice got to Tukunu somewhere earlier. Didn't have my gun na another. What a cat at at the Kokoma, a Supreme Court, ne President John Dramani Mahama say, and somehow one more car at your fan hono. When we say committee be at nan some neswa, or car at the court to say, Sa committee no matter some nesono. Womunya, yes, I sitting now, a woman and some mechanic street. And Busia, or by a Titi, and a year Ivan Chi, to Jawa Hopa, now somewhere through Monsieur Ebony say your cast will be the most useless Chief Justice. Our year, oh my God, and moi. A bit mad apart from such Chief Justice, get to Tukuni, also on Kwane, a Chief Justice here. Your cast the Sebi will be near Jenny, will be Sebi Nyansa, ye de a Chief Justice, editor courtwa. Mammy will say a subine in the Yabia Wayano, at the depa, me with some mameno, when near Jenny. Prisa niamane nsamne ne yebia all yet me baba bie na no kasem omo krampa omo yati wo mu se committee omo betena asem ne so no enkrofo bi wo mu krampa na ono Chief Justice esusu se omo mpe ono Chief Justice na asem omo tan no enti omo de omo betena asem ne so na ye de ya omo bebu asem ne de tia no omo kase mami we say na nyanya bia sabio law school na wo call ye no wo call ne say impo asem we a wo kana krampa afi no wo ba law mu no enkasa asem we say ne abusia Oma kansam pa kase saade we krampa wo ye no awose maame na nkara nkasa no kwa awoko no eni kwanse wo babiem awose ono ankara nkasa ehwale to akunya na se impo no omo modia se President John Dramani Mahama ebetime ehwale to akunya wo beje ne phone so ato na ebusi omo tuja kansam mebra mpese o ka me ho kwadi nchiremu ne basisi ye Abuja baby a wo hwe me bia wo haw ne amane kodan na bia da eda wo so bia no bomode se oni me bedi nkomo ye de samna nwanwaso bi aba ye frene se eyesika kokko na gold samna wo haw bia da eda wo so bia wo hia sa samna we se bi afi wo ye bema wo hwe me wo bema sam wo pom bema ye ketwa brabeji bula matali eduro bi na wo bema enye kese watimi abo adwuma so ache ewo empem ye de akwankyere bi aba abuzuan no ye hwehwe wo hyebrim a ye frene se mpelifo akwankyere ana se wo betima frene back to sender onipa bi ha onipa bi tata wato bet ewo ho se wo sanity bi obeku bomode so be fa numbers na egu screen ase na woni mi akasa me hwehwe wo hyebere mu hwia na bomode se me kire wo ne obeye court be ka bia ma no ne lawyer Godfrey Dame former attorney general and now file a case
yeah they can mention what here for ever since this Chief Justice petition whole thing, a breaking up, whenever I'm discussing the issue, I'm discussing it with some reverence because of respect to be an war for the woman. Because if nothing at all, she has been at the Supreme Court or a Supreme Court Justice. By me who petition, every bit of respect I will be move for the woman is gone.
Oh, wow.
Oh yes. The na me catch that one captain smart some time ago say opeso hu nyansani a wait for a trouble day asaminya maya obia ni nyansa but the very moment asambato how you conduct and compose yourself to face the stormy circumstances about imagine and I just say indeed this person is really smart or intelligent. This is a woman what got it to a point she's fighting the very things she has defended in her entire life, and not to the point here's some of the reliefs and for me, in my personal opinion, I think this is one of the most stupid suits in my entire life.
Oh wow.
Oh yes, because there is absolute no sense in this particular suit that has been filed by the Chief Justice by the lawyers. No wonder say EFN say go for that many anymore, because you see the very things she's questioning, she doesn't even have the locus to question those things in the first place. This is a woman all can say president right now or they are suspended call to a removal. This is absolute nonsense. And you see basic student or I feel you be a basic law student will have to understand those are express constitutional powers that has been granted to the president, and he alone can exercise those things, because the law says one premier facie has been established. The president may that power it's discretionary. He can decide not to and decide to. It's up to the president. And my culture say Akufo-Addo exercised the same mandate during Justice Derry and co-power. Abraham go for the dominant as if I were part of this government. So because it's John Mahama, already so suit now omo afale no. They are just seeking to ridicule President Mahama. Powers are or enjoy as a president. They're even taking it away from him because she is questioning how even the prima facie was established. So processes now move forward through a council of state in as for go through as a court to declare the entire establishing the prima facie null and void because if you go to the constitution, there are no laid down procedures. These are the stages you need to go through to ensure that prima facie will be established. But rather, the constitution says that when the president receives the petition, he will forward it to the Council of State. The determination process, nobody has explained in any legal way. We can set up a procedure just to regularize it. Okay, this is what the constitution says, but in its implementation, this is how we want to do it. You as a Chief Justice, you've been sitting there for years. Set up a procedure in establishing the prima facie so that we know that this is the process it goes through. And always the president will receive the petition, forward it to Council of State. And her as a Chief Justice, Akufo-Addo received the petition, forwarded it to the Council of State. They went through and she was acquitted. Why didn't she question that particular? You see, these are emotional. You see, these are very dishonest, despicable, vulgar, dirty people. Over the years, and I'm also an judiciary, because he's beginning to question the very thing she has stood for, she had fought for, or they defended a year for, and this woman today had the guts and the infantry to tell Ghana for say court to injunct your friend saying the ongoing process now committee no more tenants injunct names of file that petition. I'm not sure say of yeah make us say so do buy to asrena basa you bet where you are coming from, because you see or say you stop a process now you coding asem na you di we answer committee on yes serious, she's a joker. Listen, this woman as a Chief Justice, Ghana for file petition, okay, e-levy. I'll back it with fact and figures. When the e-levy thing came out, Haruna Idrusu and other people took the issue to court. By the time I ever not this woman making sure say the e-levy has been passed. Political parties took your friend saying ECA to court, just to ensure say over stopping from say young register our district level, this woman the date, yes, what to find the date the bottom. Na ECA implement. She didn't even stop the EC. So we have fear domilivo. The issue was a very critical issue. This woman, she postponed the whole thing to the extent that Papa called retirement and sana. And then you have the gut and the message. She's a shameless woman. All these years, I had a lot of respect for her. But yesterday when I saw the petition, and I said, we are now allowed the whole to be fooled by some Godfrey Dami and Co. Because these jokers were recently in power, and they were the very people who were spearheading this nonsense going on in this country. And who's the Supreme Court to stop a process? The Supreme Court had any power to stop any process, because you see, these are explicit constitutional injunction on the president. It's a process that has been activated. There are even timelines on it. So if President Mahama could stop it this particular way, I may say Ghana for will come at him. This whole thing need to court proceeding can go or court. Everybody, I said, look at anybody can go to court. You understand? But it must not have any effect on this part, because Supreme Court has proven sufficiently that you can go ahead and proceed, and have given you 3 good instances. And then she's telling us, your friend is saying, President, Premier Facia, establish here no crano, Yam Famra Council, it should be declared null and void. Which court? Which court? And a bit out of the power, over cancel that particular thing that has been, your friend saying, put forward by the president. Again, asem na okan say kenyansa woma, you raise legal and constitutional infringement akoso under President Mahama. Say Mahama why way etia article way, but she is bringing forth proper and true interpretation of article. That would have interpret the constitution. So tell the president and the Supreme Court say why infringe on this? Why your way? President Mahama as a stance now we throw challenge to Ghanaians. Ba Ghana Bar Association Bajina Nimgwasia Koye. None of them was able to pontificate at exact one your friends infraction a president are conducting. So on what basis? And they declare the process null and void. And again, this woman had the guts to say judges ni bi no moti akonwa no so no or perceive bias. These are people you've been working with in the Supreme Court. Justice Panama Obonidi and some other people. These are so, which means judiciary now or down no our tendency to be biased in favor amount for. Yes, say I can be because the old dear amount for no, she knows to say this is what has been going on. So in some oil is even taking credibility away from the judiciary. Because yet as an ordinary person, I know so we could do Supreme Court judge Akunya so there and the person which I say because of experience and so integrity is high or the not dream by and the Chief Justice is telling us nipa no matina Akunya so over the years assembly amount for a go jail yes say minimum life no and because it is her no she is questioning their integrity say they have the tendency to be biased. I don't know, this particular process is not a court process. Obino bit me she didn't come on as for, and I know there are no factual basis to substantiate some of these things. We will prove bring video evidence. I just Obino baby. You understand? So I think you see or sinking and I told you the last time in any civilized society where you serve people and the people say you give up. You go home because now no me share Charlotte say interview me na ye bisa say you know affected and I say I said this is not it was a job not my life she's now there but I say why you I see say mempesemeko then it's giving credence to impression amount for and a lawyer who kofa no aye girlfriend odame and some no bad na leaky to the media no Sunday free I sat here and I told you where those leaks are coming from now no your friend is say unko koshia committee no kra no letter or Chrakakoma committee ni say location na omode man no instead anya clear na woman a proper location that letter was leaked and Paul Ademochi was reading the letter on TV so it means that every single thing coming out of this particular thing came from her letter na wo Chrakoma sa direction yam fa man as for Paul Ademochi got a leak of that particular way and he was reading and since this whole process started every single bit coming from the Chief Justice outfit Biano goes to him. So it means one casano, baby everyone will say the law is no longer a law. You are putting up an emotional battle because on is a Ghana for a dream form. A seven bani and NDC MPP. Obenye ni pama na kabiama. At the end of the day, if you are able to say Niama way na President Mahama atieti so today they are seeking to take away the presidential powers. President Mahama wo. Say ono do ya Mahama de no no fi here obey I see judicial powers na say for them that sick mindset that archaic sense of reason is that we are better than Obia now if it is not us and nobody no that is what is playing out and I think that President Mahama is watching her ontie ni this stupid antics being set in motion by these people say or transema e fa no so a ne power wa wie he need to step up and say hey I'm in charge. This particular process should continue. The committee, he should not change any member on the committee. Because these are people the Chief Justice has been using, working with them all these years. So, or any specific way about any individual. On Resino, bias is vague. Bias in what sense? Bias in what sense? Bias, have they shown it? Because you can perceive that will be biased, but until that bias play out, you there is no evidence to justify that will be a bias. You understand? And I said na yede ato so and I say ya kan fa ho no. So concrete answers be you shouldn't be going into the gutters like a dog fighting for survival. Poster na why no akwese kama ye dia babo ni team and ye obehu bia no chesi. That's exactly what she's doing. And for me, looking at how far she has come, the track record as a anya hwe no we Ghana, your friends say Chief Justice, you need to try for some modicum of respect, even if not for yourself, for Ghana for, because you want a different some. But they're all to the stand say, and I could join the very people who over the years have been making noise. And on the same MPP family, Nana, you put up some silly, your friend saying, relief on piece of paper, seeking that we will indict the president, discredit him, making the whole world look like, say, I'm being hounded because government has changed. When indeed, in some good papers, you've not been able to establish any way you've been given the room, you've been given the power to respond. And again, sir, premier fasia na establish and all one kasa as a chief justice and what letter come our president say you want to be part of that process because I catch us at that process and adversarial process you need to hear from her at that point because the constitution says a set up committee at that point and a woman will be heard. But the president was kind enough to adhere to your call at that point, so who frees that process and fair now a British constitutional way. Why then did you take part in the process? What does America say? Because she's questioning the whole process, the whole premier facia which has been established. But for the first time, you've been given a hearing. If before that decision was taken. And son a council of state you got tenase so she says a council of state omunim nyansa omunim do moye and ono kwa nim nyansa and now she's questioning that particular thing and America says she's clutching her straws. This is a sinking woman and so a fan so she's just clutching her straws. But you see, it's better so we give you up now than this shameless fight. When America all this I had a lot of respect for her. But with this particular thing, everything is gone. Because my catchers are for she has demonstrated sufficiently say she was just doing the burden of some people. And the people he was doing their burden are the very people who are forced I relieve no mudi go paper so ebisa no so who nyansa bia nim and sa niema we go ahead to dent the credibility of our judiciary. And then Justice Ponamina won nete we no so catch say oya bias and obey bias obedi tia. I don't know the day so nipa dodo a omba court in the past mudi tia omo. That is the modus operandi. You are always biased. Because you are we chief justice here, but bias it means over the years ordinary person don't buy anything, and she's questioning very things she has been defending. So for me, I think this woman should be disregarded or you lost count on her sinking. She doesn't want to go alone. She's just trying to blow everything off her way. The president needs to remain resolute, focused, and stay on track. Because as long as I on veer off, na onyan and na on make any mistake, there hasn't been any constitutional infraction, there hasn't been any infringement, there hasn't been any breach of any of the articles as enshrined in the Constitution and Article 146 downwards. The president needs to remain resolute and go for it because you see, if he cow under this particular pressure, now a woman will coming back, pressure about us, I'm telling you. Because there are a significant number of Ghanaians we are convinced that this woman is very dangerous. She poses a significant danger to the very foundations of our judicial institution. And here coming back, will complicate things. And people don't need her back because they are all here crowd there. This or you lost Canada, she's coming for a reason. And Chief Justice Award M43 to tell Ghana for say suspending a president Mahama suspending illegal anti-court to Montungu. Hey, what a shameless woman. So Ghana for Mobetia here, why all these years we've been fighting for state institutions. These are despicable characters over the years, clothed in the name of me, a judge and me away. I'm telling you, you are going forward, Yeah, generation you me. Oh, Matrama Casama ruling to be a man. We live in a liberal society. Say yes to Christo, but not Supreme Court no more ruling in Yansa or Bajan heat. Oh, I'm telling you. because
only yes yeah
or better call judge akonyanum na omo rule na nyansa anima. Oh, imagine the hate, because you see you can't cow people into intimidation. You can't cow us into subjugation. Say when I'm a judge pongo mi semiti Pontius Pilate cry is no see judge pongo mi shoti. So I think that they must begin to realize these things and tell them now era na ye woman. We've moved from 1990, we've moved from 2000, and now everybody has a platform.
Yeah,
that is what the last time I was telling you, there are no consumers of news. We are all prosumers, producing and consuming at the same time. I have the capacity to go on platform, make news, people come and consume. Exactly. So you have no control over the narrative. Those were the days you could just assemble few misguided, twisted journalists who were so greedy, serving their belly. You take them somewhere, you give them money, they will come and twist and build a certain narrative. And people can build their own narrative on their own platform, and some of us can reach out to over millions, thousands of people within a minute. You understand? So you can no longer control the narrative. So I think that the aircos, obi or burning tunu for say ogun anima say she's not even fighting anything because microphone mudin anima mu ye yodom. So what kind true way na woman na nyansa ba kokura anim. The relief she's seeking, and she's rather questioning herself, because these are things you've been defending. No, no, quite this idea we had, and the Loretta, we now you did the same process, no, nipa. Akufo-Addo de judges na di suspend your mono. Na your friends saying, "Tokono ni kroma say." Judges na owie your pam mono na omu nye nipa, omu ni mame. These are shameless characters. For me, this is the reason why some of us have been asking, say, we need to prune the judiciary. Because these characters are there, they are not serving their interest. Their allegiance isn't to the Ghana, isn't to the constitution of this country, isn't to the flag, and isn't to the people. It is to themselves and your friends are puppet masters who give them power, and that is what they are there to serve. And then the combination between the Chief Justice and Godfred Odame speak it all, because we are smart to cry now. Looking at how your friends saying the political terrain now and how a man for fraud or sono mame. Now we don't want the last person as a sensible person you consider as your lawyer. Oh yeah, they say common sense.
Amana is so obvious.
You are even confirming it. I keep telling people that common sense. No, can you say abu obia obio? It's a basal default decision that every sensible human being supposed to. It's common, but it doesn't mean it's common to be, because sad decision the crowd were making a poor judgment on her part going for Godfred Odame as your lawyer, because you know some characters and we are politics now. Perception play a crucial role. How people perceive you, corruption measure. What is obi akwache corruption be gina hoda? What is obi say corruption ye kokwa na red da? Perception and the measure that is why corruption perception index. So how people perceive. So the air course you are only confirming the perception people have. It used to be abstract, but now you are putting faces behind it. Indeed, and some now you cancer we are biased and you are already in bed with these people over the years. Godfred Odame and original court, and he was caught manipulating your friends a witness. And the Jackpot case.
Jackpot case.
When you were the Chief Justice, we were calling say you remove and the guys sought to it. Said the case went to it. Your friends go to it. Logical conclusion. The Chief Justice never uttered a word in this country. So never when you now play out and then fight fair, fight fair, win, and Ghana for Muzo Mahama by and the sound of Kanan Muna now did now try say remove Chief Justice. But you are not fighting fair. What's slip into the gutters fighting dirty? And I'm telling you, you see, we fight dirtier. So also we fighting dirtier. We are ready for her, and she will not survive. Because Nema where it's not as if to be which until. Yes, say if you want to come to the table, don't come with emotions. Don't come with some of these silly insinuations and things that Ghana fall for this thing. No, we will not. Because as an ordinary Ghanaian Metihano, what I'm seeking is that the judiciary is sanitized so that people once again have confidence in our democratic institution. Because I am worried when I look around Ghana and I realize that countries no more border any cool countries. We cannot risk it, especially when people don't have trust in an institution like the judiciary. When somebody will be sitting there and be making foolish decisions. in recent times. Look at rulings coming out of the Supreme Court and look at public reaction. Supreme Court come out with ruling and people says, they with the answer. Makato said, law, the baser element as I will find, will lay your hands on every day, reasoning, logic, and common sense. Ghana and Kwana ruling free Supreme Court by this element are missing. And you think people will swallow because, what's up, my lord, oh, bodam, we will respect you when you give us reason.
Yeah.
If you are able to say, Adena may and say, na Ghana for who say Nyansa over the years, Supreme Court ruling about also be a challenging, also be a questioning. Why this? Because people have realized that these people are only using these things to further their personal and individual parochial interests. And we are no longer going to sit here and become pawns on the chessboard of these jokers who pretend they know it all, they have it all, they've seen it all. No. We are looking through, making sure this whole thing will go through. Have we ever advocated for the removal of the Chief Justice for no reason?
No.
It's because of what is happening. And we consistently keep telling the president he should make sure he stick within line. Because President Mahama every year off. Now you see extra means just to hound this woman out. I'll be the first one to react. You understand? But as it stands now, no single infraction. And we bet you lay the hands on. Now be through and proper interpretation, through and proper yeah, I think that they need to get serious.
Okay.
The committee need to sit down. So I'm afraid now they should write their report, send it to the president, and he should go ahead and take whatever decision that you want to take. Because the same Tokono has proven to us, say there are some Supreme Court, the action can continue. A banner say, we are exactly.
You let me buy the court, and Daniel, you almost want Munti.
Exactly. And I make us say, the way I am, no. If I want to make decision, public decision, you have to have your back against the wall. There will be no questions at your back. Now, who say, is it a reasonable course of action that I'm taking? Because these are things you are guilty of. It's one of the reasons why people are questioning your competency as a judge. Because over the assembly, you find a way to manipulate it just to ensure that people will get their way. And government at the end of the day, they will have free right to do whatever that they want to do. And have cited instances in the case of this e-levy, in the case of NDC and 6 other political parties against the EC, in the case of Damluvo, in the case of LGBT case, several other cases are the same court. You used your personal power to manipulate these things in a very subtle way. And today, you are here telling us the whole presidential committee now set it up, we should stop it. And you've given them 14 days. You are not serious, woman. This process, I'm saying, the president should not waver. He should make sure that the committee will sit. They should submit their report and, if possible, remove her. Because or this woman may be on she has proven sufficient reserve for integrity or nibi. She's a very dishonest character, and for me, her coming back to our judiciary, will further destroy every bit of sanity remaining in our judiciary. And you think people will be going to court when this woman is sitting there, and her colleagues or accuse you almost bias, they will be comfortable sitting on the bench with her. You understand? You see, this is a woman, corner, she has decided to fight dirty. And I'm a say if she wants to fight dirty, government needs to adopt the same strategy and meet her equal measure. Because now she's going political. You understand? It is no longer. And again, one other important thing a woman say, this woman in her relief is saying, she wants the whole thing to be public.
Yeah.
The hearing must be public. Yeah. The Constitution is very explicit on this particular matter. And it says the hearing must be held in camera. There is an explicit constitutional provision. I say, the hearing, because of the nature of this whole thing, it must be held in camera. And this is not the first time this thing is being held in camera. Yeah, we've had instances in the past. All the proceedings now, nobody heard it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, for the dignity of the office.
Yeah.
And then the woman who has been defending these things over the years stood for these things, questioning why so I didn't ekoso or every right to say she must be heard and say in the public ma Ghana for who the ekoso. You don't need the general public to tell you what is to see the ekoso. This is your friend say adia emra and the regulatory and until that is done no.
Say yeah.
Yeah, some more. So
Yeah.
Rules for yourself because it is you. Because there have been several instances. Man for
process of the process.
Yeah.
You never recommended say Ghana for being part of the process. It would not save you. That's what I'm saying is that they want to go political. It's an emotional warfare that they are trying to wage on the presidency. It's an emotional warfare. And if you're say now you're falling for some of this nonsense being set in motion by these jokers, trust me, the Republic will lose focus and Ghana will never trust the president anymore. He must stand on his ground and see these people as jokers for who they are, because like I said, the MPP is a sinking enterprise. Any silly stuff that comes up, they will hang on and they will do. And that's exactly, if these guys have any iota of your friends saying, shame you when this one, and this thing will be the last thing they will be fighting for. But what can we say?
All right, so that's innocent. Ivan say innocent, and innocent hit here the end match say comments on Facebook no there. Otime say adwene wa Ghana for tirimu a na innocent aka no. Brand list so akwaba.
Yeah,
Boko. Nyame ase. Ye time no. Chief Justice or courts. We are sure say what follow kaka. Yeah. Your take on it. You are not Ivan Yako Baumia apology ne or say abai NDC ne policy be obey media back CD appreciation. The right so we're starting free Chief Justice in the others.
Baby, I am in Germany be hard.
Okay.
But democracy, I am cassette for the moment, and you answer phone call and cassette. Be it's me canal. But then you canal. The only time I say I'm a bodemi and participate in democracy, me a bribe for Twaba.
Okay.
Me almost if you watch it. And yes, democracy, and my be a home